What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the podcast. I'm Ranger Mario, and today I have a special guest from Bryan and Bryan Inspections, Hannah Bailey.
Hi, guys. Thank you for having me.
Yep. So tell us about yourself.
So, my name is Hannah. I am in the growth and development department at Bryan and Bryan Inspections, so I do a lot of their marketing and agent education and just making sure that people understand what they get with us when they work with us on the agent side and the client side.
Right. So, what does a home inspector look at when they're going to a house, especially in the Houston area?
So they'll look at if there's any termite activity. They'll do a UDI, wood destroying insect inspection. They'll look at the structural, mechanical, electrical, and plumbing aspects of the home. They'll look at the foundation with a zip level to do digital foundation measurements. And then they'll use their thermography camera to look at the main shower drain, electrical panel breaker box, and the HVAC system. And then if they want to add on any additional services, they can do the full thermal imaging, sewer scope assessment, well and septic, pool and spa, stucco, and then all three phases of new construction.
Right. So, there's plenty of different type of homes in the Houston area.
There are
Yeah.
lots of different types.
And so a lot of people are attracted to the stucco.
Mm-hmm.
And so would you recommend a regular inspection or a special inspection for those homes?
So for the stucco, it's a different type of inspection. Some stucco inspectors will just do a visual inspection. Ours are specifically certified to do the invasive testing. So they use a moisture probe meter to drill into the outside, going into the inside of the stucco to detect the moisture level inside. Because one thing that does not get along with stucco is moisture, and there is a lot of moisture here in Houston in the air. So they're able to drill in and see what the moisture level is on the inside to see if there has to be any kind of remediation to be done. And then they'll patch up the holes after.
Right. Your company offers something that it's not many other companies offer. Can you tell us about your pest inspections?
Yeah, so we have our own in-house pest control company, Green Team Pest. So all of the inspections come with the free pest inspection, and it does have a 90-day guarantee as well. So apart from any conducive conditions, if the inspector notes that there isn't any kind of termite activity, and then within those 90 days there is termite activity, Green Team Pest will come out and treat it for no charge at all. And then once the buyers close on the home, Green Team Pest will go out and do a full indoor and outdoor spray for the buyer as well, completely free of charge. So it'll kind of put a protective barrier inside and outside of the home.
Right. Can consumers attend the inspection themselves?
Absolutely. Yeah, we always recommend that if an agent or the buyer wants to attend the inspection, that they arrive at least an hour and a half after the start time. Of course, they can come whenever. We're not going to kick them out if they show up, at the time of the inspection. But it allows the inspector to get everything started. And then if they have any questions that they want to ask the inspector, or if they want the inspector to go over any of their findings, they have that allotted time to do so at the end of the inspection.
Right. And so we know about the fees. In real estate, when buying a house, a lot of things cost money.
Mm-hmm.
What are y'all prices?
So our base package starts at $499, and that includes everything. So the WDI, free move-in pest service, the structural, mechanical, electrical, plumbing, foundation, and thermal imaging. It does vary on the type of foundation that they have. As we get into some areas that have the pier and beam or the crawl space, we might see it vary for, $50 or $60, but it starts around $499. And then we typically see in the Houston area between $500 to $700, again, depending on the size of the home and any kind of add-ons. But we do also offer pay at close for buyers too. So if they don't want to pay outright for the inspection, then we can add it into closing costs so they don't see that money coming directly out of their account.
Right. So what you been up to?
Just working. The market's been weird, and we're trying to figure out how we can adapt to it and how we can bring more value to agents with everything going on with NAR. So just a lot of working, eating, and sleeping.
When was the last time you tried something new?
Weeks ago. Wait, work related or not work related?
Can be anything.
Probably 2 weeks ago, I drove up to Madisonville and went drifting in a Charger Hellcat.
Oh, nice.
Which I had never done before. Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
You're a cars girl.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yep.
Yep. It's fun. It was fun.
Right, right.
Definitely recommend. It's the only place in America you can drive a classic car.
Really?
Yep. Apparently, no. The only other place that does it is in like Essex, which I think is like in the UK.
Oh, okay.
Or something. But yeah. And we went to the biggest Buc-ee's, which is also in Madisonville.
Yeah.
So,
You gotta know.
yep. That whole day was an experience.
You try the golden nuggets?
No,
Beaver
I
nuggets?
haven't. It's in Louisiana, right?
No, the beaver nuggets.
Oh.
It's a Buc-ee's product.
Oh, no. I thought you were
Sorry.
talking about the Golden Nugget. Isn't that a casino?
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
casino.
I haven't. What are they, just chicken nuggets?
I never had it, but it's one of like people always recommend trying
Yeah.
those.
I'll have to try. Is it at every Buc-ee's?
I would think so.
Well,
Yeah.
that'll be the next new thing. Ask me again in a couple weeks the other new thing I tried, and it'll be the Golden
Right.
Nuggets.
Nice. So what brings you into Houston?
So my family, some of my family moved here for work
Oh, okay.
from North Carolina. So we moved over here.
Right. So it's a rainy day today.
It is
Yeah.
very rainy. Not anymore, actually. The sun very much came out on my drive here,
Oh. Okay.
which was weird. It was
Nice.
like pouring when I left.
Uh-huh.
And then going down the highway, it just like stopped. And then now it's like blue skies and like 90 degrees.
Yeah, I was seeing the dark sky, the cloudiness.
Yeah.
But I always miss the rain. Just
Ew.
asking, how will you define success?
That's a good question. I get asked that a lot by my team leads, and it's always a different answer. For me, I feel like personally and professionally, it's success is when I'm consistently doing something to better myself and those around me and implementing some sort of positive change.
Right.
If that comes with money, then it comes with money. But I think fulfillment wise for success, it's doing something positive and moving a needle in the right direction.
Right.
Yeah. Was that a bad answer?
No, that's good. That's good.
What is it for you?
For me, it's just having happiness behind that success.
Absolutely. I like that.
Right.
Yeah, there's a lot of successful people that, you know, they have,
Merciful.
huh?
They seem merciful.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. So you have a son.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is it like to be a boy mom?
It's fun. It's fun. Obviously, I'm not a boy, but I grew up on like Hot Wheels and RC cars and all of those like tomboy type things. So it's fun to be able to still find that kid in me and do those types of things with him.
Right.
But dangerous.
It is.
He's a wild child.
I'm sure. I mean, I used to do like go outside like every day, and never wanted to go inside.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially come back in when the street lights come on, and then you wake up in the morning and you're back outside playing.
Right. Well, we never had street lights, which is crazy. Growing up in the
That's
2000s, it was kind of like a regulatory to have like street lights in the neighborhood, but
That's
just never
interesting.
had-
So I guess when the sun goes down then, or you can't see anything, it's when it's
Right.
time to trek back home.
right. So you grew up in the 90s.
I did.
So what are a few things you missed about it?
Actual summer breaks. That's a big one. And then I think just, it was almost easier. We didn't have, I mean, we had MySpace, but, and like AIM chat to like I am, but the world wasn't focused around social media. So it was a different sense of freedom.
Yeah.
Of just, you go and knock on your friend's door when you want to play, asking them, can Tommy come outside and play for a little bit? And then not just being connected to your phone all the time. Because we didn't have cell phones.
Right. Yeah.
So, well, I mean, like, they were just invented. Yeah.
Wasn't there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that, but I mean, it's helped businesses. Like, we've evolved with it, but it definitely was a different sense of freedom to not have to be tied to a device all the time to communicate with someone.
Right.
And home phones. You don't find home phones anymore. Like the ones with the cord in the wall, and all the telemarketers would just call you all the time.
I got to grow up part of it in that era.
Yeah.
I mean, it was still around in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
Which is where my generation is from.
Mm-hmm.
And so we still got to experience like the A Pup Named Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
Type of era. Sitcoms were like a new thing, which were like the best ones they ever came out of.
Yeah, it was different humor back then. Like some of the things, I'll watch some older shows like Friends. I love Friends. It's like my comfort show. And I'm like, you can't tell jokes like that in this day and age. Like, you'll get canceled for that. But it was easier back then. People weren't so sensitive.
Yeah. I remember watching the Jetsons, super old cartoon.
I've heard of it, but I've never watched it.
It had like, the humor is way worse than what it is now.
Yeah. I feel like the only show that kept on with the humor like that is like South Park and Family Guy. They never strayed away from it. But even like Disney Channel is different. And like Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network.
Well, Cartoon Network's dead now.
Is it? See, I don't even have cable anymore. That's one thing that I miss.
Either.
Yeah, I just stream everything.
Right.
What channel was it for you? Do you remember?
N98. The DirecTV.
Okay. Yeah. That makes sense. Mine was 17. Channel 17. It was like the forbidden channel. Like, I wasn't even allowed to watch Rugrats.
What?
Because Angelica was too mean. So I couldn't watch it. But Rocket Power, did you ever watch Rocket Power?
I don't know.
That was a good one.
No.
That was a good one. Or what was the one where they were all blue? The Proud Family. That wasn't Cartoon Network. I think
they
that
weren't
was
blue. The Smurfs were blue.
Yeah, but like the cartoon, they were like a little bluish or purplish, weren't they?
They were. I don't think so.
Oh.
The Proud Family?
Yeah.
I think that was Disney.
Yeah, it wasn't Cartoon Network, you're right. I'm straying away. I'm straying away from the topic.
No. You like concerts?
I do. I haven't gone in a long time. I haven't been to one. I think I've been to one in the last 4 years. But I grew up in Virginia Beach, and concerts were huge out there. So it was always it was a fun thing to do.
Right.
Yeah. What about you? What type of music do you listen to?
I have a very diverse range.
Yeah.
A little bit of classic rock, a little bit of like casual pop music here and there, a lot of country music too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I come in and out with country music. I'll go into like little phases of like I'll consistently listen to like Nickelback or something. And then I'll go into like country music, and then it'll just be like I don't even know the genre, but like Hanson. Did you ever listen to Hanson? Or like NSYNC and Backstreet Boys, like just the old music that I grew up on. And then I'll listen to it for like a week straight, and then I won't listen to it again for like a year.
Yeah, I'll get sick of it for a little bit.
Yeah.
And then once I'm not sick of it, I will come back.
Yeah, I'll be like, oh, I miss it. And then, but I'll do the same song over and over again until I get tired of it.
Really?
Yes. And unfortunately, my son has picked that up. Like the other day, we listened to the Hot Wheels song on repeat for 40 minutes straight. And it just, as soon as it ended, he'd be like, play it again. But now he doesn't want to listen to it because he's sick of it. And I'm like, oh, I wonder where you get that from.
So you were in beauty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Cosmetology.
How's that?
How was it?
Yeah.
It was fun. It was different. Demanding. And it's funny because real estate is also demanding, but I have a lot more control over my schedule in real estate.
Yeah.
Whereas when I was working in the salon, it was Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. And, you know, if you have a day full of clients, you can't just, which, I mean, obviously in real estate too, if you have a day full of like showings or meeting with clients, it's not ideal to cancel it. But if I didn't have a day full of clients, I was still at the salon all day. Right. Whereas now, if I don't have a day of back-to-back meetings, I can go visit different offices, or I can do phone calls, or, you know, do any other money-making activity to fill up that time as opposed to just being stuck in the building all day.
Right, yeah.
But it's, I mean, the relationship aspect is still very similar. You know, making sure you have professional communication, you're personable, helpful, educated, show value. All of those are really similar.
Right. Yeah, my sister wanted to go into cosmetology.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Did she?
I guess it never worked out.
Oh. It was fun. Honestly, I just did it because I didn't know what I wanted to do after high school. And all of my friends were going off to college, and I was like, well, I got to do something. But my very first job when I was 16 was a receptionist at a hair salon. So I knew that I enjoyed the industry, and then it turned out that I liked the management side a lot better.
Oh, yeah.
So I ended up going into management.
Yeah, not everybody's built for management.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you think it's something that is taught or natural?
It's natural.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I feel like it too. I feel like on some aspects it's, you know, you always have to be coachable. You always have to learn certain things, you know, within the business, and then just shaping yourself like with your different skills to be able to keep up with it. But I do feel like you have to have some kind of natural characteristics in order to do it.
Yeah, it's one thing that kills a business is putting the wrong person in management.
Yeah.
Yeah, once like management goes bad, the whole thing goes.
Yeah,
out.
it's part of culture. If you have, I mean, and I feel like everyone has experienced at least one job of bad management, and it's not the job that you don't like, it's the way that the job is run.
Right. Yeah.
And it, yeah, absolutely can kill an entire business if you have bad management. We focus a lot, like we do personality assessments. It's called an AVA, and it's almost like therapy. Like everyone who gets hired at the company has to go through it, and then you have to get it like verified. So it's like a couple hours that you sit down with someone and they go through, and it's pages on pages, and it tells you how you communicate best, like your different personality types, what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are. And it helps us understand how to communicate the best with each other. Like, okay, this person that we're hiring is like a type A personality, or they're not direct, or they don't like it when you sugarcoat things and you have to be direct. And I feel like a lot of people need to implement that, because there's been plenty of jobs where I've barely even had an interview. Right. And then I got hired, and then you have no idea what you're setting yourself up for. There's no like internal want to figure out how to work with the team together.
Yeah. I remember before real estate, I applied to a lot of jobs. Mm-hmm. And because I was like a whole separate personality than the rest of it, like they just told me, I don't think you would be a good fit here. It's like you should be at a much other different environment. Yeah.
And that, I mean, it's important to recognize it, I feel like, on both ends.
Yeah.
Like, especially if you feel like where you're at isn't meeting your needs or helping you grow, or if you've outgrown it, it's important to be able to recognize those things. Yeah. But also, like, what are you doing to nurture that environment for your employees?
Right, yeah. Yeah, my previous job, which was retail, I was, like, outgrown the whole entire staff, and I was always looking for that extra like promotion, which I never got it, but then they gave it to someone else who was in the company for lesser time, literally a year. I spent like 3 years, and I ended up kind of training them, or they'll come to me for help even though they're in a higher position. So that kind of drove me away from the company and decide to maybe venture in real estate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. It can really do damage on employees, especially when you're not recognized or valued and like your potential isn't being sought after. It can definitely put a damper on how the employees view the business. And then once you start getting in that mindset, you start to not want to go above and beyond for the company. You just want to, you checked out, you're not in it anymore. You're like, let me find something else. Whereas with real estate, you can give yourself as many promotions as you want.
I mean, there's only one.
Yep. Well, you can promote yourself to top realtor of your team.
Okay.
Well, because it's like your own business.
Yeah, especially when you're alone or solo agent.
Yeah.
then you-
Yeah. Obviously, like on a team, you can't promote yourself as something. But if you're a solo agent, if you want to be producer of the month, you be producer of the month. No one's stopping you.
You have any goals?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I've been really big into just wanting to make positive change. And I think that it kind of aligns with how I view what success is. Like I have my own personal goals of like things that I want to achieve, you know, in my own time. And then professionally, I want to be a part of what our company's goals are. And, you know, I got into home inspections because when I moved here and we bought our house, did I tell you that story? When we bought the house blindly, we still lived in North Carolina and we bought the home in Pearland at the end of 2021. So, like, the market was still bumping, and I knew nothing about home inspections. I knew nothing about real estate, and we never saw the inspection report. And we were told by our agent at the time that everything was great. There was nothing to worry about, no red flags, no deficiencies, which I know now is impossible. So we move into the home. At the time, my son was only 2, and the underneath of the kitchen sink was held together with painter's tape. And it had busted and flooded the entire kitchen. And it was tens of thousands of dollars in remediation. And so when I got into the industry,